Hello buddy, Sanir, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to make a follow-up video from yesterday's video and why investors are dead wrong on Teladoc. Now, before we do that, before we jump into today's video, you guys know the drill. You guys know exactly what a likes you. Destroy the like button, smash it. It's quick, it's free, it's easy. If you've not subscribed yet, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell for our videos to get to you faster. So there's this article on The Motley Fool, which I think most of you are aware of right now, fool.com for FYI. And it's an article titled as, "Are Investors Dead Wrong About Teladoc?" Absolutely. And this article was obviously written yesterday, April 30th, by Keith Spates. And there's a couple of key points here. Teladoc plunged after the company posted a huge loss in Q1. It cut its 2022 outlook. Some investors scrambled to sell the stock while others eagerly scooped shares. Investors betting on Teladoc probably like their odds while the stock is now trading below 2 times expected sales. Below 2 times expected sales is absolutely mind-boggling for a company that's in the technology space, a company that was worth multiples just over a year ago, and under a year ago indeed. And obviously they're operating in a legacy space industry where a lot of companies are obviously making sure that they can disrupt it. So it's quite competitive. But at the same time, when you talk about the cost of switching over, it's absolutely high, right? Once you get one of your patients on your platform, I mean, how many times do you guys even change your family doctors, right? I think I have the same family doctor since I was literally for I don't know, 25 years. It's the same family doctor, literally. So obviously you translate that to today's era where we have smartphones, where newer generations love doing everything digitally. I think this is going to translate to similar type of behaviors. Now, obviously not every single citizen in North America, but obviously we're talking about that type of behavior across the board. And I honestly think once you're on Teladoc, you're going to stay on Teladoc for a while, right? And when we're talking about 5 to 10 years, that's enough to boost the stock up significantly. But anyways, look at this article here. The only question is which group of investors is making a mistake. And obviously this article talks about Jeff Bezos when in 2001 after the dot-com boom, Amazon, the shareholders letter, he started the letter saying, ouch, obviously reference to how the fact that the company's stock was down over 80% over a period of 12 months. And we sort of have a similar type of behavior here. Now, obviously, I'm not comparing Teladoc with Amazon or Jeff Bezos, quite the opposite. But obviously, we've seen something similar in the past, obviously, with all these companies being down 60, 70, 80, 90%. I mean, I read that stat yesterday that over 40% of the companies on the NASDAQ are down over 50%. Let me repeat that, right? Over 40% on the companies on the NASDAQ are down over 50%. That is just mind-boggling, right? That is literally the definition of a market crash and more, right? So obviously here, this article talks a lot about how this author is quite 100% confident that this stock is beat down significantly and there is a light in the tunnel. Other investors, though, view the sell-off as overdone. They were more than happy to buy Teladoc shares at a steep discount, and that, of course, includes ARK Invest in that group that we covered in yesterday's video, if you guys recall. Different dynamics. Teladoc is not in the same position as Amazon was back in 2001. Bezos was able to point out the company's accelerating growth, right? But Teladoc does appear to be in a better shape than the panic sellers seem to think. The company's huge Q1 loss was almost entirely due to the goodwill impairment charge. This write-down highlights that Teladoc overpaid his acquisition for Livinggo in 2020. But excluding this impairment, Teladoc was handily beat expectations, right? So they actually beat the Wall Street expectations, right? And of course, you have to exclude this goodwill impairment because that's just a one-time thing, right? And obviously, none of us were sort of expecting that, right? So Teladoc only reduced his 2022 revenue outlook by less than 6%. The company still expects the revenue growth in the ballpark of 20%. It's significantly high for a tech company. Not that high, but it is high. And they did reduce their outlook by 6%. Again, they may be sandbagging. I heard some comments on social media that the management had lied in previous quarter about their guidance. Guys, all these companies always revise their guidance, right? Even Apple didn't even give a guidance. What's worse than giving a guidance, being wrong, correcting it, than not giving one entirely? Now, obviously, Apple can afford this, being the top market cap leader, and obviously being in the position they're in the market force. But Teladoc obviously is sort of obliged to give this type of guidance for their stakeholders, shareholders. And in spite of them revising it, people were like sort of bearish just on that fact, right? People saying, oh, they lied to the world. No, they didn't lie, right? They gave a guidance, they gave an outlook, and obviously things have changed in the recent months. These types of business change week over week, right? And obviously, if you're forced to give a guidance, you're going to revise it if you found out some uncertainties that arose in the recent months and weeks. So, right, so looking at this, smaller rivals are bidding up. Search of advertising costs, what Teladoc CEO referred in Q1 call as economically irrational decision that won't be sustainable. That's because he's saying that these rivals are coming in trying to take the thing, a piece of the pie, but they're putting a lot of money into advertising costs, marketing costs. Those are rivals. That is not sustainable. That is the CEO comments, right? So obviously there are some uncertainties. Looking at the first one, which is how long this headwinds for BetterHelp will persist. Telling Teladoc isn't sure how much of his late stage pipeline chronic condition market will be able to close, or how quickly the deals will close. I would actually say the next, maybe a third point of biggest uncertainty is actually how sticky their product is. I think there was this TV show from Super Pump, right, on Showtime for you Americans, for Canadians, it's on Crave. The investor Bill Gurley actually asked Travis Kalanick, obviously ex-CEO and founder of Uber, say how sticky is Uber, right? And the CEO actually states, 2 rides and we have them for a lifetime, and that was in 2011, right? And I think this would be the big question for me, the big cloud, the big uncertainty for Teladoc, right? How sticky this product is, right? I personally think it's very sticky. I think once you're on Teladoc, once you're companies on Teladoc, once you're getting this virtual care, prescriptions automated, all of that, I think over 90% of doctor visits could be done through virtual anyways, because they're quick prescriptions or quick diagnosis. So like, oh yeah, I have a flu, okay, well, you have that, okay, maybe they'll give a device from Levengo, right? You get it, get the data in, plus they own that platform, the software. I just think it's an amazing type of ecosystem they own. And honestly, healthcare is yet to be disrupted. I think we have so many legacy healthcare systems. There's some programs healthcare companies, healthcare hospitals actually are running. They're so old, guys. Like, you wouldn't believe it. So legacy. And that's literally a system that's literally funded by most governments around the world, right? Canada is completely funded by taxpayer money. And as a taxpayer, you want the best service and the best product in your hospitals, right? And you want people to get the best care. And I think Teladoc is playing a role in that. So I think it's quite sticky, but I would argue that is their biggest uncertainty, the biggest issue. I think that's what most bears are talking about, excluding the whole guidance revision, excluding the whole loss or the impairment charge, excluding the whole slowing down of growth that had been expected. But then again, all these companies are down. It's really a byproduct of everything that's been happening, the macro events. People are completely underestimating the impact that Fed rates, inflation, Russia invading Ukraine, all the uncertainties of the world we're living in, the pandemic. People just forget there's so many macros, and I don't know. It is what it is. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. It is Sunday. Hopefully you guys are having a beautiful day. It's unfortunately it's a little bit of rain and a little cloudy here, but I had some good time with family. They came over to visit us in Toronto, so hopefully you guys are having a beautiful time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll end this video like this. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this article. Are investors dead wrong about Teladoc? Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day and week. Thank you.